In tonight's Tax Insider, avoiding the debt ceiling. Last week, Treasury Secretary Jack Lew said the U.S. will reach its borrowing limit earlier than expected. Now he's warning Congress to act before it's too late. Joining me with the latest is David Williams, president of the Taxpayers Protection Alliance. All right, Dave, Republicans have just unveiled a proposal to raise the debt limit through March 2017, but it comes at a price. The measure would require congressional committees to come up with a way to cut nearly $4 trillion in mandatory funding over the next decade. What's your take on this plan?
Well, first of all, they have to do something about the debt ceiling. They can't play political chicken with this, because unlike shutting down the government, not paying your debts is really going to be catastrophic financially to the country. So here we are. We're just a couple weeks away, and this bill called the Terms of Credit Act. Now, this is a great idea. It's basically saying, listen, we are willing to raise the debt limit if you cut mandatory spending by $3.8 trillion. And this is important, Mars. I'll tell you why, is that they did something similar in 2011 with the Budget Control Act, where they said, we will raise the debt ceiling if you cut discretionary spending. And guess what? We're still under the Budget Control Act. We're saving tens of billions of dollars. So it's a great way for the Republicans to say, we will do this, but there are conditions attached to it.
And there are only 2 weeks left until the nation hits the debt ceiling. President Obama has urged lawmakers to pass a clean bill, but Republicans want to include spending reforms. Some have said it's up to the outgoing House Speaker John Boehner to get the deal done. Good luck with that. Given the partisan politics on the Hill, can this be achieved?
Well, hopefully it can be achieved. And here's what has to happen, that if they pass a clean debt limit bill, what they should do is only make it for 6 months. Because we can't just pass a bill for a couple of years and say there are no conditions to passing and to raising the debt ceiling. So if they do something without these conditions, only do it temporary. Now, you know me, Morris, I don't like legislating by crisis and having all these deadlines.
Right.
But I think the debt limit is important here, is that we look at that. But if they pass this bill, the Terms of Credit Act, and we have some more fiscal discipline, then sure, do this until 2017, because this is going to help the country in the long run.
Now let's switch gears, Dave, to another political fight that you and I enjoy talking about, the Export-Import Bank. Next week, Congress will vote to reauthorize the institution after its charter expired in June. We thought the bank was dead and gone. What happened? How is it on the docket again?
Well, Halloween's next week, so this is really appropriate, because the Export-Import Bank was dead. We killed it on June 30th. But,
so we thought.
But it's coming back to life. It's the zombie agency that refuses to die. But here's what's happening, is this is getting a vote on the House next week because of what they call a discharge petition. And what this is usually the minority party uses this to get legislation to the floor so they can vote on it. But a Republican is doing this, because a Republican, his name is Stephen Fincher from Tennessee, he really wants this legislation to pass. He wants the Export-Import Bank to come back. So this discharge position, it's not used very often, Morris. Let's get that straight, that, you know, the last time it was used was 13 years ago. In the past 80 years or so, it's been used maybe 5 or 6 times. So this is really not the typical way to pass legislation, but Fincher is desperate. He wants the Export-Import Bank to come back, and this is going to be a really big fight amongst Republicans.
He must have a major client or corporation in Tennessee.
Absolutely.
That's what it all boils down to. Moderate Republicans, John Boehner, Democrats, including President Obama, they want the bank reauthorized. Politics make strange bedfellows. Do you think this is going to happen?
Here's the problem, is that John Boehner this past summer was opposed to the Export-Import Bank as Speaker of the House. He's still Speaker, but obviously his days are numbered. So he has no political capital to worry about. He doesn't have to worry about the fiscal conservatives or anyone, you know, in that right wing of the party. So he has more leverage now, or he may actually want to bring the Export-Import Bank back, and because he won't feel any repercussions. He's gone. He's not only not Speaker, but he's leaving Congress. So there may be a push by him to do this. Now, the Senate is a whole different deal, is that Senator Mitch McConnell, there was a vote this past summer, and he said one vote only to bring back the bank. They had the vote, so we'll see if Senator McConnell holds true to this and keeps a vote from happening in the Senate.
All you have to do is know who the constituencies are and follow the money, and then find out which congressmen or senators are voting for this, and it all boils down to that. Give us a sneak peek for the next time you're here. I know you're doing some research on the infamous D.C. trolley, which is yet to be up and running, but you're working on tracking some money there.
We did. So we sent a FOIA request to the D.C. Department of Transportation. Spent a couple $1,000s on it, but it was worth it to get this information. And Morris, we have 4,000 pages of information on marketing of the DC streetcar. Now let's remember that the streetcar is the 8th Street corridor, and it's running up and down the street with no passengers. There's still no passengers on this thing. It's cost millions upon millions of dollars, and we asked for something very specific. We want to look at the marketing and how much they've spent on those ridiculous flyers they're putting on everyone's cars, website costs, media costs. So we want to see how much are the taxpayers spending just for marketing of a trolley that doesn't work.
That's going to be next time you're on Capital Insider. In the meantime, David Williams, president of the Taxpayers Protection Alliance. See you next time, Dave.
Thank you.